Lakeview. Hello.
You got you and done they blow my mind. Love the feeling all the time. Show me love I don't deserve. Oh now you and done they blow my mind. Love the feeling all the time. Show me love I don't deserve. You call me your favorite baby. Before mama called me a name. That's why you're blessing me daily. I know I'm your favorite baby.
When everybody say just a cussing down, my testimony is a lifting up.
Cause you built a hedge and it's
Right about me, right about me.
Me, I know delay.
Hello everyone, this is D'Aquilyn and welcome to Sacred Self-Love Sundays. I was listening to music while I was putting on makeup, and so I wanted to keep that energy going for today's live. Thank you so much for joining me. Whether you are live or whether you watch the recording, I appreciate you. I appreciate your presence. I wanted to talk today about my topic is you are the seed. You are the seed. Did I say good morning, good afternoon? I may have said good morning. It is afternoon. But you are the seed. And this came from my message that I posted on my social media yesterday. It might have been Friday. Saying that seeds actually grow in the dark and then they emerge into the light transformed. And I thought about that a lot over the past few days. And so I wanted that to be my message for today. In helping all of us to realize that we truly are the seed in our lives. Everything begins with us. Everything begins with us. I was thinking about the scripture, Genesis 8:22, that says, as long as the earth remains, there will be seed time and harvest. And I just want to just say that indeed we are the seed, and every seed that we plant is a harvest. We'll produce a harvest. And the harvest is always greater than the seed. I always liken it to if you're planting a lemon seed and then you get a lemon tree and then you get multiple lemons and you have multiple seeds from that lemon. Same thing with the apple or whatever seed that you plant. The thing about it is that we don't realize that everything that we do is a seed. Like everything we do, everything we say, our attitude, our willingness or unwillingness, the way we carry ourselves, the way we just are, our total being is a seed for the next moment or the future moment, or I like to call it the next now, because what you do right now really carries the weight for what will come in your life. I say it this way too, that for every action we create a my aunt just sent me lemons from her tree in Arizona. Wow, see, look, how divine is that? But I always say it this way, anything that we do, there are rewards and consequences. Or, you know, I just think that whatever we do that is good, there are rewards for that. Whatever we do that are not so good, I don't really want to call them bad, it's just not so good, there are consequences. And so a lot of people don't realize that everything that they do, they will reap either the reward of it or the consequence of it. And it's as simple as making a decision for yourself, your personal, for your personal life, meaning you set a goal, and whatever you do with that goal, you speak over it, you do what it takes to make that goal come to fruition, and you'll reap the reward of that goal. But if you set a goal and you don't believe that you're going to accomplish it, you don't believe, or you don't take action or whatever, the consequence of that is the goal would not come to fruition in your life. Every time that we do something, every time that we set an intention to do something, we plant that particular seed in our lives. So if your intention is to be a more grounded person. What are you doing? You have to start doing certain things. Seed time and harvest. In that time, you have to cultivate the garden. I mean, cultivate the ground, which is your heart, making sure that you're walking in forgiveness, making sure that you're walking in love, making sure that you are guarding your heart against those things that will come in to try to destroy the seed that is you. Destroy your thoughts, destroy your mind, destroy your emotions, destroy your relationships, destroy your money, destroy, anything in your life. You have to guard your heart against those things, guard your life against those things. But also, too, a part of that is making sure that you cultivate the seed, meaning that you water the seed, you speak over the seed. I know for me, I used to have a lot of plants, and I got the green thumb from my mother. And one of the things that I learned is you have to speak to the plant, you have to talk to it and put good vibes around it, because nature responds to vibration as well. But it's the same thing with the seeds that you plant in your life, whatever they are for, whether it is for, business growth or personal growth, or maybe it is financial growth or relationship changes and shifts in your life. You have to really water those seeds. So in other words, you have to set an intention, and then you have to do whatever it takes to water that intention, to cultivate that intention, and take the necessary actions so that when it's time for that seed to grow, it has the environment to grow and become what it is that it needs to become. You can't plant a lemon tree in the middle of the Antarctica, and think that it's going to grow and sprout and have lemons on it. It has to be the proper environment, and that proper environment is you. It is your heart. It is your divine home, which is you. And as you do that, then you can really reap a wonderful harvest. A few things that's important when it comes to understanding that you are the seed and you are the harvest is this, that your words are really, really, really important. You have to use your words to speak life and to say the things that you want to see come to fruition. I shared in my free coaching group on Facebook, I shared that I actually, since I've had surgery a couple of years ago, I now have to walk on a cane indefinitely. And I had bought a little stopper for the bottom of the cane when we lived in the previous house, and we moved in June. So we moved to a different space. And so the stopper, the holder, it worked in the house because the floors are hardwood. Well, now that we live, it's mostly carpet and just one small space that's not. So a couple of small spaces, but the cane falls all the time. It falls all the time. And I remember being so frustrated, like super frustrated, like, dang it, it fell again, and just it was just getting me into a space. And so I actually, about 3 weeks ago, decided that I'm going to use this as a way of changing my words for my life and using it as an affirmation. And so now every time the cane falls, I say, miracles and money are constantly manifesting in my life. Miracles and money are constantly manifesting in my life. Well, actually, I said that for 2 weeks. And then the third week, last Friday, as a matter of fact, I changed it and I put the word now. So I said, miracles and money are constantly falling into my life now, because my cane falls now, in the now moment. And that actually manifested an opportunity for me. And so I said that to say that our words are so powerful, that our words, they are part of the seed. When you start speaking and saying certain things over your life, then you will find that things will start to come up, things will start to happen. The goal is for you to, number one, say it, but number two, back up what you say with your belief. And that's the second part that I want to talk about. Because what belief simply means is what you accept as true. And in order for you to change your beliefs, you're going to have to use your words to speak the words that you're wanting to see happen in your life. Meaning that if you're wanting to, have better relationships, then you need to open your mouth and say what type of relationships you want to have in your life. More loving relationships, more patience in your relationships, more understanding in relationships, or having, people in your life who are go-getters and who will motivate you and encourage you. You need to start saying that you currently have those people in your life. And the more you say that, what happens is it shifts your inner ear hears it. And not only your inner ear hears it, but your inner heart hears it. And your inner heart is your subconscious mind. And what will happen is you'll find yourself in conditions and situations and circumstances that are in alignment with what you're speaking. But here's the key to that. And I'm talking about watering the seed, being the seed, but cultivating the seed and all of that is making sure that you do it consistently. It's one thing to say miracles and money are constantly falling into my life now and saying it one time. You say it one time, and most likely if you say it one time, weeks later you'll forget what you said. Or hours later for some people, or minutes later for some people, you forget what you said. But the consistency of it, saying it over and over and over again, the repetition of that affirmation will start to build your belief system. Because what's happening is not only is your natural ear hearing it, but your inner ear is hearing it, and your inner heart, which is your subconscious mind, is believing it and taking it at face value and saying, oh, this is my condition now, this is my new circumstance. And it starts to find and gravitate towards and sometimes draw to you those conditions in your life. So number 1 is words. Number 2 is belief. Number 3 is determination. With that determination, you have to be determined not to allow anything to get you off course. One of the things I was actually in the process this morning of recording an audio for my free coaching group, and someone called and it messed me up. So I was like, well, I guess I won't talk about that. But now that I'm here, I'm going to talk about it here. One of the things that I was talking about in that audio this morning was focus. Determination requires focus, meaning that I set my eyes on something, I see it, and it is in clear vision, which means I shut everything else out and I only see what's in front of me. And what I was saying in the audio is that last year, 2020, was the year of vision. It was a year that we claimed when 2020 started, this is the year of clear vision, 2020. And I believe that everything that happened last year was a part of us getting clear on outer conditions, but also clear on inner conditions, which is why many of us had to go into isolation so that we can spend time with ourselves. We can see ourselves for who we really are and work on anything that we needed to work on. But also it was clear vision on what's happening in the world. And so as we got that clear vision, hopefully for most of us, we got clear on our dreams, our goals, our aspirations. We got clear on, what we want to manifest in our lives. We got clear on the people that we want to have in our lives and all of that. So as you got clear, now that you're moving into 2021, now it's about focusing. And it takes determination to focus. It takes determination to focus. You have to really be determined that you are not going to veer to the right or to the left or look to the right or look to the left, but you're going to focus on your goal. You're going to focus on that thing that you're wanting to manifest. So it takes your words. It takes your, it takes your words. It takes belief, but it also takes determination. You have to make sure that you are focusing on the seed that you have in the ground, that you're watering it with your words, you're watering it with your beliefs, that you're speaking life over it with your words. And then you are making sure that you give it your full attention. That's what focus is giving something or someone or a condition or whatever your full attention. You're following that until it produces the thing that you want it to produce in your life. And then the fourth thing is you have to take action. You have to take action. It's one thing to say that you want better relationships, but if you're currently gossiping about people, if you're currently complaining about all the people that you have in your life, and you're not working on clearing your heart of any offense or grievances, if you're not working to be open to having new relationships in your life, or better relationships in your life, or certain types of people in your life, then you're not going to produce anything. If you're wanting to have more money, but you're not willing to apply for the job that offers more money, or you're not willing to start the business to get more money, all of that, you have to have that action component. The last few letters of attraction is that action. And a lot of people talk about the law of attraction, but really it should be the law of action, because it takes the action of not just sowing the seed, not just speaking it, not just believing it, not just focusing on it, but also doing what it takes to have that thing to come to fruition in your life. And so I wanted to just share this quick message with you just to let you know that, number one, you are the seed, and number two, you are the harvest. You are the harvest. Seed, time, and harvest. So you sow your seed, you give it time, you do the work in that time, and then you produce the harvest. Here's the thing about the harvest. The harvest also requires work. The harvest also requires work. People tend to think that when the harvest comes in, you can sit back and relax. But you have to pull the apples from the tree. You have to pull the lemons from the tree. Okay, you have to do something. You have to take some physical action, some mental action, some emotional action to receive the harvest. We reap a harvest, but do we receive the harvest when it comes? And a lot of people don't receive the harvest when it comes because they are not willing to take the action to do what it takes to receive it. And here's the thing, if you're wanting to produce more of a certain thing in your life, then guess what? You have to sow new seeds. So when that lemon that you have from your aunt, if you want to have your own lemon tree, of course she gave you the lemon from her tree, but in order for you to produce your own lemon, you have to sow seeds from those lemons. And it's the same thing with us. We have to receive the harvest, but use the harvest to sow new seeds in our lives. I was just sharing with someone a few days ago. We were talking about sowing and reaping. And I remember like quite a few years ago, maybe about 15 or almost, it's been about 15, almost 20 years ago. I love watching just random documentaries. And so I watched this random documentary on pumpkins and how people have these huge pumpkins that they go to fairs with. I'm talking about huge, that weigh like a ton or something, that they go to fairs with, and they have these largest pumpkin contests. And I remember this lesson, and I used to always say, if I ever be called to take up offering in church, I'm going to use this as an example. Well, now I don't go to church anymore, but I still use this as an example. Where this lady was talking about, I think the person who was doing the documentary asked her, how do you get your pumpkins so big? And so she said, they asked, it was a two-part question, was what do you do when the fair is over and you won your prize? I think this person had won first place, his family. And so they said we destroy the pumpkin, whatever they do, they destroy it or whatever. But the second part was, how do you get the pumpkins to be so big? And what the lady said was, she said, we get the biggest seed from this one. I get the biggest seed from the one I have now, and I sow that seed again. I put that seed in the ground, and it makes a big pumpkin. So it's the same thing with us, with our harvest. You look for the seeds, the biggest seeds, the seeds that will produce a bigger harvest the next time, and you sow that. But here's the thing, when I'm saying sow the bigger seed, that also means speaking bigger words, having bigger beliefs, having bigger focus, and taking bigger action for the thing that you're wanting to produce in the next harvest, and the next harvest, and the next harvest. So there's always seed, time, and harvest. You're always sowing a seed because guess what? You are the seed. You always have the time in between sowing the seed, which is the time to use your words, to build your beliefs, to get your focus, to focus as well as to take action. And then there's the harvest. The harvest is when you're reaping the things that you sowed. And here's the thing, you always reap what you sow. You always reap what you sow. I can give you just the most basic example of this. If you go out today, or if you talk to someone on the phone, give them a compliment. And then watch and see how many compliments come back to you. You always reap what you sow. If you're telling someone that they're beautiful, they're pretty, or whatever, someone is going to say, you're beautiful, you're pretty, or you're handsome, or whatever. It always comes back to you. And in that simple example, it's the same way that your harvest will always come back to you. So number one, be intentional about your seed. Be intentional about the things that you're wanting to produce in your life. Because if you don't have the right intention, what can happen is you'll reap something that you're not willing or able to handle. So be very intentional about your seed. And as you are intentional about your seed, then you go into planting this seed in the ground, trusting and knowing that what I plant, what I sow, I will reap. And it's actually a spiritual law. Seed time and harvest is a spiritual law. You always reap what you sow. You may not always reap where you sow, but you will always reap what you sow. And I mean it in the spiritual realm, meaning that, you may sow. A perfect example, this past week I had this bag, a couple of bags of groceries that I was going to go and take to this place and drop off to give to someone. To give to anyone who needed it, homeless, not homeless, but just people that needed groceries. Our neighborhood has this, it's called a blessing box, and it's at a gas station. So you put non-perishable items in it. So I had this bag. I've had 2 bags actually. Every time I would go and take it, I always would forget the bag. And so one of the ladies who sits with my niece, she asked me one day, she said, what are you going to do with that bag? I said, I've been intending to go and give it to somebody for groceries, to just give it away in the blessing box. She said, well, can I give it? Because I have a neighbor who needs some groceries. And I was like, sure, please take it, and I was thinking of what else could I give. And literally the next day, one of my friends called and she said, hey, I have something for you. And guess what it was? It was groceries. And I kept saying, you know what? Oh, thank you. And I really didn't have a need, but because I sowed, I reaped. That person that I gave it to, the person that I gave it to through the sitter, they didn't give it back to me, but it came from somewhere else. It's the same thing with our spiritual seeds. You may not reap where you sow, like that one person or that one condition or that one thing may not in return give it back to you, but it will come back to you in some way. So be mindful of that, because I think a lot of people, what happens is we get weary and frustrated because we're looking to where we sowed and to reap a harvest, and sometimes it's not where you sow. And I'm talking about spiritual seeds. Sometimes it's not where you sow, but it is you won't receive it where you sow, but you will receive it. So just be mindful of that. But I think that's all I wanted to share. Just a really quick message. Nothing really. Yes, the energy, you get back the energy you put in. Absolutely. Every time. It never fails, because energy, it flows, it moves, and whatever you give is going to flow back to you. I have this class in Self-Love University called Return to Sender, because that's what happens is whatever you send out, the universe returns it to sender, good or bad. So if you're sowing bad seeds, if you're sending out negative words and bad vibes and bad energy, then guess what's going to come back to you? That negative, bad vibes and bad energy, which is why a lot of people are in a perpetual cycle of, I'm going to call it bad things. They're in that perpetual cycle because they keep giving it. And when it comes back to them, they're frustrated and they're giving back the same bad energy over and over and over again. And so what happens is they get stuck in that. They get caught up in that. And so the best way to move any energy is to shift. And shifting means change your words or shifting the environment, playing music or dancing or singing or doing something. So in order to get out of the cycle of the return to sender of bad energy or bad whatever, then you have to shift and change your words, change what you're saying, change what you're believing, change what you're thinking, change even how you're dressing and how you're feeling. We have the power to do that because we are the seed. We are the seed and we are the harvest and we are the time in between. So that's all I wanted to share with you. Thank you, King of Lakeview, for joining me and for being here. Thank you to Insar, the Mighty, for being here. I appreciate you. I hope that this message was clear and gave you some inspiration and motivation. But just be mindful of what you're putting out, because what you're putting out, you always get back. Always, always, always. So with that, I want to invite you to check out 7 Days Self-Love Journey, which is a collaboration with Celine Digagne and myself. It is such a beautiful journey, and I'm so proud of this work. We actually worked together since August to put this out. So that we have a contest on both of our pages. So if you go back a few posts on my page, it's called Giveaway. And it's all you have to do is follow her, follow me, tag your friends, and then we will announce it. I believe today. Is it today? I think so. We will announce the winner today, and you'll be a part of this beautiful 7-day self-love journey that we created. Beautiful videos and beautiful information that will help you in your journey to self-love. Also, if you have any questions about anything that I've shared, please feel free to reach out to me. You can do so via DM or email here on Instagram. Click the link around my bio about the email. But if you're watching this on YouTube, then go to my website. It's listed below, and at the top of my website is a contact, and there's my email there. You can contact me directly. But thank you so much for being a part of the Sacred Self-Love Sunday. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I send love, light, peace, and blessings to you. Take care.